So today we're going to be talking about the importance of travel with one of the most traveled tattoo experts.
Hi, I'm Dakota, and we're going to be diving into what's the importance between traveling for the client and also tattoo artists, and just covering a whole bunch of different aspects about world travel.
I don't think traveling is just important for this industry. For me, I think it's important for like life.
Okay.
So it's traveling. It's something that it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice. I think it's a way to perceive the world, to learn about everything that's around us, to learn about ourselves. Because when you travel, whether it's for work, for to get to know things, you learn first of all about yourself, like what kind of person you are in a situation that's not one that you're used to. So it's like first of all, you learn about yourself. You learn about other cultures. You learn about other perspectives. And as an artist, I think that all of that can inform your way to see art or create art. You can, for me, like I spent like a really long time traveling, and a lot of my art is very much influenced by folk art that I studied while I was traveling.
Yeah.
So like my work is very much obviously influenced by Ukrainian folk art because that's where I'm from, but I spent so much time in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, in Polynesia, that all of that informs my art, like in some way, like whether it's color choice, whether it's symbolism, it all kind of connected. Like I don't think I would make the style that I make or like have the philosophy around the style that I make if I didn't have all that experience. So I think that, I don't know, for me, it's like it formed me both as an artist and person.
I
So
agree with that. And I think it's like, not only is it good for an artist to travel around because it can give them inspirations and learn off of other people from things they've never seen before, but also for the audience or the clients because it can push them. Like a lot of my followers have traveled to get tattoos, and it kind of promotes the travel movement. One, to get them out of their comfort zone, but also to realize like you can't always get a certain style where you're at, especially if you're like somewhere in the middle of the US and you're like, oh, these South Korean style, I've never seen this before, maybe I should take a trip there. And it not only benefits them in that aspect, but it brings, kind of unites people. We're
absolutely.
starting to connect different countries with traveling.
I think that what's so brilliant about what you do is like you really take people's attention, like you kind of like show them art, tattoos. Like obviously a lot of your followers I think are interested in getting tattoos, and you kind of push them out of their comfort zone. You're like, hey, you want this style? Here, check out this artist, check out this place. Like it's in a different place. So like in a way, like you take people through the art, but you guide them into traveling, right? You
Yeah.
trick them into
Because a
traveling.
lot of them, they're like, how can I get this? I live in Iowa, and you're like, you're not getting that in Iowa. I'm gonna be honest. So you gotta go and travel for the artist. And I'm like, whenever they see a super specific style, I'm like, go to the artist who's doing that. Like, they'll be there for a couple years or more. So if it takes you a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing. I think it's really incredible to take art from all over the world. Because I mean, for me, tattooing it's like it's the new real art form. Because people don't. I mean, galleries and museums like they have their place, but I feel like now galleries, these like we are the gallery now.
Yeah.
Like that's so much like what galleries represented in 1900s. It's not like today the gallery it's this like you are the gallery, you're the museum, and you have pieces from different artists. Like you
Yeah.
are definitely museum.
Yeah.
And you taking like, and so now it's like you taking art and you bringing it on a different platform, and you using art to inspire people to really like transform their perception
Yeah.
in many ways, because you make them look at art differently and travel differently.
And I feel like the stories behind the tattoos are coming back because it used to be medicinal, and then it was stories, and then it was to get tattooed, and now it's coming back. And if you can go around the world and get different tattoos, it's like a passport. Like I've been tattooed in 18 different countries, and each little one of them has a story behind it. And someone's like, oh, what is that? And I was like, oh, I was in Estonia getting tattooed. And they're like, what? I was like, don't even know where that is on a map. And I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's a stamp on your. It's a different kind of stamp in your passport, a much more meaningful one that you make this really deep connection to. And I really believe that like what you put on your skin is like what it manifests in your life. Like it can be such a powerful tool that can lead to transformation, lead to anything you want it to lead to. Well, if you put something positive, you're gonna have that in your life. If you put something negative, you're gonna have it in your life. You have the whole story of all your travel. I mean, that's essentially what tattooing was. In many cultures, it was your biography. And essentially, in many ways, it still is your biography. Like in what you put on your body, and each time, it's like you remember that moment in time, what happened, why you get to choose. So it is your autobiography. It is very much continuing to that tradition. And I think that in today's day, people we are so connected but disconnected from each other, and we're all looking for some sort of meaning. And I think that's why tattoo stories becoming such a forefront now. People want to hear that. People want to make connections to the stuff they put on their body, because we're looking for that. We're looking for something deeper, and tattooing has been around. I mean, we talked about this, like tattooing's been around for
5,000 years.
Yeah, and it's we've done this already. We know it has medicinal quality. We know it has a storytelling quality, so we just have to bring that back in 2024.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it seems 95% of people are interested in to hear the story. Like you can tell them about something new you got and they might not be as interested, but most of the time when you show them a tattoo or they question about it and you tell them the story, they're just locked in because they're so interested in wondering why you got that, what's the meaning behind it. Absolutely. And then once they make that connection, because they could just see the art and they're like, oh, that's good art. And then they hear the story behind it and it just changes the whole thing for them. And they're like, well, I want to do that. How can I even come up with a concept? And then they meet the right artist where they can just put it into a visual and it changes their whole life.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people have a lot of ideas, but they don't always know how to express them on their skin, or well, I have this idea and I wanted to present this and this. Or sometimes I know this happens to me a lot with clients where they come and they throw me an idea and I'm like, okay, cool, awesome. Can you tell me what's your connection to this image that you want on your body? Why this? Why the portrait of your cat? Or why this thing, or this other thing? And then there's always a story.
Yeah.
It's never arbitrary. Even if you say, well, it looks cool, but okay, well, why does it look cool? Why are you drawn to that tiger? There's a reason.
There's something that pushes them towards that.
Right, subconscious, and that's when you go okay, if it's something that I just like how it looks, okay, well, why do you like how it looks? Can we pull something from there to make this more meaningful and deeply connected to you? And I think in today's time, it's that's where tattooing, for me, that's where tattooing is at, is about using it. I mean, obviously it's an art form, but using it as a way to tell stories and make deeper connections. It's
And the more variants to make, each artist is so unique in their styles, and the more you can make each tattoo unique, it makes it even more special for the client, instead of I don't know how to word it, but making it completely unique to them, that nobody else has that tattoo.
Absolutely.
Just makes that story so much more different.
Yeah.
Somebody could have a lion from you or a lion from PETA and could have the same meaning, but they're totally different designs. And for each of them, a whole different stamp.
Absolutely, and obviously each person gravitates to a certain style for a reason too. So I think it's really beautiful that we live in a time too where there's so much plurality in art and in tattoos. It's an amazing time to be alive in tattoo history, because we have every style right now. We have every style, and some styles we don't even know yet.
Yeah, it's so rewarding when I showcase all the artists, because they just see so many different styles. And I've had people who are like, I don't like tattoos at all, and they're like, now I really want to get one because I see this style, and they're like, I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
And same thing again, maybe you wanted a lion, but you're like, I don't want it to be realism. What else could it possibly be? And then you see a whole different abstract style, and you're like, yes, that's it. And they're like, you know what, I'll take a trip to Brazil or wherever to get that tattoo.